welcome to Eternal Rambles, where the Eternals ramble eternally. My name is Aaron.
I'm Kodig.
And I'm the Mad Dragon.
Yes, we are joined by a guest, our first guest, who happens to be a very old friend of mine, a newer friend, like, perspective-wise. I have known him a lot longer than you have.
Perspective-wise, but I
Yeah.
have known him quite a long time.
To be fair, I'm ancient, and I consider you both very good friends. It does not matter how long we have known each other.
Yeah, but yeah, the world needs to know. Today, we are going to be talking about Disney movies specifically. I know a while ago we were talking about cartoons that we watched, one of which, at least for me, was Disney, but we're going to go for movies today.
Yeah.
Animated, live action, whatever works, as Kodig dies.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
Well, if I'm allowed to open up our first topic,
Sure.
I would like to address the live-action Aladdin movie.
Oh, we're
which I
starting
recently
off.
saw.
We're starting
off with that.
We're starting off
Right,
with
you're booking it right out the gate.
Yeah, that's what it's happened.
Shit.
Okay,
Okay.
Well, then pull the pin on that grenade.
I rather enjoyed the live-action remake. After comparing it to the animated film,
Of
I
Aladdin.
was actually surprised. There were a lot of good things in that movie. The way they portrayed Jasmine has more of a three-dimensional character rather than just a pretty face that got animated was a really big step forward. There were plenty of jokes as well.
Keep going.
I really liked Will Smith as the Genie.
I'll tell you everything that's good about that movie.
I'm not gonna say anything you said was incorrect. It's just the way you said it was like a Watch Mojo video. It's the way you said it.
Will Smith is Genie.
Mm-hmm.
And they should have put Jack Black as Genie. But I can accept Will Smith as
Well, the
Genie.
thing I respect
And
about
that is
Why
the good
would
things about that
Jack
movie.
Black be the Genie?
Because
Okay.
he just fits more with that type of Robin Williams character.
That's the thing. Will Smith is not doing an impersonation or
I'm
an
aware.
homage to Robin Williams. He is doing his own character, which I think is perfectly fine.
It worked for the movie.
That's why I said-
I honestly don't think they should have tried to ape Robin Williams.
That's
it
why-
would not have worked.
That's why I said that I'm perfectly willing to accept his version of Genie because I like it. I thought it was enjoyable, but I just prefer the original, and I would have preferred making Jack Black as the Genie. I think it would have fit better.
I
to
think
me.
we can all agree Adam Sandler would have been the best Genie. No.
As an
Adam Sandler-
lover of Adam Sandler movies, I'm gonna have to put a quick nope button. To
Yeah,
that.
no.
Yeah, and I even love Adam Sandler movies, and I'm just
Guy
that's
doesn't have
not-
much range, unfortunately.
I mean, he can if the problem is he doesn't cast himself into that many roles with a lot of range.
See, the thing with Adam Sandler movies, he always plays the same character in every movie he is in. He plays
There's
the
one
goofy
exception to that rule, but I can't
Goofy
remember what it was.
man-child learns to adult. That is the synopsis of 95% of his movies.
There was one
Well,
exception
you
to
could
that
also
rule.
say
I
that
can't remember what
about
it was
Jim
though.
Carrey and Will Ferrell.
No, Jim Carrey is a little bit different. Like, have you seen The Truman Show?
No.
That is first off, it's a drama. Now, Jim Carrey is very bombastic and basically the concept. We're talking about Disney, but we're talking about this now. So here we go. Jim Carrey plays a man named Truman, The Truman Show.
Mm-hmm.
He is a man who is basically his life is a TV show, but he's the only one who has no idea. Everyone in his life is an actor. Even his own parents aren't his parents. He doesn't know. He is on they do such a good job. He's on an island that is in a dome so they can control every aspect of his life.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that show before, actually.
And
Hold on,
basically,
keep going. Never mind.
basically, the entire movie is about him breaking free, about him discovering the truth and breaking free of it. And yeah, while he has a lot of Jim Carrey absurdity in it, it's mostly, you can kind of tell he's doing it to try to break the people around him, to make them admit something's not right. Which is odd, because you'd think a man who grew up in this situation wouldn't think anything was odd, but then it comes around to humans are actually quite intuitive creatures, and they're social creatures, so they recognize when you're treated differently than the rest of the pack.
Yeah.
And Kodig, what you were saying earlier, you really think that Jack Black could have been played as a better Genie than Will Smith?
I'm not saying he could have done a better job. I'm just saying I would have preferred him in that role.
He more in line with Robin Williams' original performance.
Exactly. Now, I understand that it's a whole different take, and to a lot of people that is what they should have done. But I would have preferred a more original Genie role. That's just me, personally.
What do you mean by original?
Like,
That could
more
mean
in
any
line
number
with the
of
original
things.
Genie.
Well, the reason why I think that is such a good idea with what they did with Will Smith's character is because everyone is different. Everyone's different. It's not like they're not like all completely different. Like
Gonna drink this nondescript soda.
Will Smith is the most different, but they're all changed slightly.
Yeah.
Like Jafar, you get way more backstory into Jafar. Like it's like turns out originally he was a thief too. He was a street rat, and then he was like, "You steal a loaf of bread, you're a thief. You steal a country, you're a king." He's basically trying to. He doesn't approach Aladdin as like the, but not everything is as it appears, like the old, like hunched back, like old man. He approaches him as Jafar to try to convince him to do his dirty work. So it's a little more interesting.
I see what you're saying there.
I
saying,
like the animated
Jafar
movie
isn't very-
better.
The animated movie, I still agree, is better.
Well,
Also, that
yes, of
one
course.
Jasmine song about self-empowering women, but the entire song is in her head.
Let it go.
Mixing metaphors. Kind of doesn't. It's like, oh, people need to listen to me. I have my own opinions. They need to believe me, but I won't tell anyone.
Frozen.
No, you want to hear a song that's basically "Let It Go." Moana.
Moana, yeah.
Moana's, yes.
How far I'll go.
How far
Let
I'll
It
go, whatever it's called, like whatever that song is called. That's the "Let It Go." It's like,
I'd say
whole
Moana
song
was
is
probably
literally
one of those
about her
movies
going
that
out
was
and
kind of a.
swimming.
It was one of those movies that was totally bankrolling on the idea of Frozen.
No, because Moana came out quite a distance after Frozen did. It
think
wasn't trying
I
to.
think it was like 2 years.
It was longer than that.
I'm not sure. I'll look it up.
Yeah, you can look it up, but like, I saw it as it wasn't trying to be Frozen. Yeah, it was doing the whole women empowerment thing, but that's because Disney honestly had the unfortunate rep of women don't do anything in their movies. So they're like,
It was 3 years.
that's a while. So they were trying to. Didn't Zootopia come out in the interim?
Yeah,
Yeah. So very different movies.
but I love Zootopia.
I'm not saying
also
Zootopia is
Zootopia.
bad. I'm just saying
Zootopia is probably in my top 10 favorite Disney movies of all time.
Same.
that's great.
To be fair, Frozen's also in that top 10 list. Most of my top 10 like Disney movies are more modern Disney movies because like the old ones, like let's be serious here. Let's be completely honest.
They're classics.
The old movies
They're well animated.
fucking suck.
Yeah.
They fucking suck. The story is boring. The characters don't matter.
It's been a long time for pretty much anyone. Rewatch Snow White.
It's not.
That
good.
movie got by on its animation alone back in the
It
day.
literally got by because it was the first full-length
Fully
animated movie. And that is the only reason it got by. Same with Cinderella. Like, I know there's, like, a huge difference between, like, those original movies. Like, I think the only, like, classic original movie that I actually enjoy watching from, like, those old ones is Pinocchio. But even then, that gives me fucking nightmares.
I don't like Pinocchio.
That shit gives me nightmares.
I like...
It's the same with Alice in Wonderland. Every time...
That was an acid trip. That came out in the middle of the hippie movement.
That movie, I'm not even kidding you. As a child, that
You could
movie
say the
gave
same
me
thing about
nightmares.
Wizard of Oz.
Tweet-
No, that's not on Disney.
Wizard of Oz came out way before any of these.
Yeah, it
didn't
came out in like the 20s. No, it came out around the same time as Snow White.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
60s.
wasn't
No, Wizard of Oz came out in the 20s, sir.
Wizard of Oz was the
Maybe the
first
original.
movie to come in full color.
Yeah, but it wasn't originally in color. Sorry, 1939.
When was Snow White was like in the 49, 50?
No, it was like in the 20s.
No,
No,
Snow White.
1937.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Since we're going
Stop
back,
saying 20s. It's not correct.
30s, 20s.
It's all the
20
same.
years.
What's a couple of dickies?
Since we're going
So
back,
Snow White
let's
came out
discuss-
just before.
Since we're going back, let's discuss the Beauty and the Beast. One of my personal favorites.
Okay,
animation's
Kodig has a hot take here.
Oh, a really hot take. Let's hear it.
I mean, I fucking hate the Beauty and the Beast. Like, I hate
Get
the
out.
original. I don't mind the live action remake.
I hate
I don't
it.
like-
I hate
don't
live
like-
action
Hate
remake.
the live.
I hate live action remake, and I'll get into
Why?
it after Kodig finishes his point.
I don't like the original Beauty and the Beast because I find it incredibly boring. It's the same thing with the live action remake. I just like a few songs out of it more than the originals.
Well, Disney music is amazing.
Exactly, like Evermore from Beauty, the live action remake. That is probably my favorite song
Did they add,
to
like,
sing.
Didn't they add like 3 new songs?
Yeah, they added a few new songs, but like the original Beauty and the Beast, I find incredibly dull and boring, and I hated it. However, that is a hot take from my family because that is my mother's favorite movie of all time.
So this is your mother's opinion, not yours.
No.
No.
His mother loves the movie. He dislikes it.
I despise it.
So it's a hot take, especially toward his family.
Yeah. It's the same, like, especially considering the second my mother
Be-
sees this podcast.
Best Picture nominee, Kodig don't like.
Most
It did win an Oscar for Best Original Soundtrack.
we had movies win Oscars that no one even knew what the fuck they were.
Oh, like everyone compares, like the when Suicide Squad won Best Makeup, and you look at the people that lost.
Yeah. To be fair, Suicide Squad did.
Those
have some
awards are all
amazing makeup.
politics anyway. It's not about
Yeah.
it's not about earning it. It's about having the poll to get the vote. I hate the live action remake. One of the major reasons is I think Emma Watson is a fine actress when she's playing Hermione. She's not the best choice to play Belle on the sheer fact of she can't sing.
Yeah.
She's auto-tuned. And if you were playing Belle, you'd be able to sing. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure the woman who sang for Belle and the woman who voice acted for Belle are different people. But in animation, you can do that. That was done often in Disney animated films. They had
Well, that was
they had
done
a voice
often
actor.
in Disney live action films.
Yeah,
in High
but
School
they-
It was
Musical,
common in Disney films, period.
yeah, because like in High School Musical, Zac Efron didn't sing any of his songs.
Okay, but that's better than auto-tuning her.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
agree.
very obvious. And Belle has some of the best songs a Disney princess ever sings. And also, they ruin a lot of scenes. Okay, let me ask you, riddle me this, Batman. Now, it's probably been a while since either of you seen the movie, but let's see if you remember this. What color does Belle wear? What color does Belle wear?
Blue,
Yellow.
blue and
What
white.
does she wear most of the time?
Blue and white.
In literally
she
every
wears blue.
picture of Belle.
Yeah, you're thinking of the ball
in the
scene.
in the
Yellow
promotional
dress.
material, she wears the yellow dress. But in most of the movie, what does she wear?
She wears a blue and white
Blue.
dress.
Who else wears blue in that movie?
Like, what do
The
you mean?
Beast.
The Beast.
Yeah.
No one else wears blue in the movie except those two. And that is done to make a very distinct difference that these people are outcasts. Watch the first movie, watch the first scene of the live action remake. Everyone's wearing blue. Now, granted, you might say that's whatever. You have to be really like focused to see that. That's an issue. But that's a very clear, distinct visual. Like, what does Gaston wear?
Red.
You remember that. That is a very distinct. Oh, he's red. LeFou, what does he wear? Black. Very distinct, very obvious. You remember LeFou. That was a detail done by the animators to make these people distinct. In the first scene, everyone's wearing blue. In the scene where Belle is singing "I Want Adventure" in the Great White Somewhere, there's a storm cloud on the horizon. In the original animated, it's a sunset, a beautiful sunset, lighting the tree, making it magical. She wants adventure, so the world around her looks beautiful and gorgeous, offering her more. In the live action, it's a storm. You don't want to go out adventuring in that.
Yeah.
Actually,
enough.
it'd be pretty cool to venture out in a storm, but that's just my take.
And then
on
you
it.
have Be Our Guest, which one of the jokes in that entire scene is Be Our Guest, all these food and those plates shouldn't get to eat the entire time. It's pretty funny. When that scene is over, he's like, oh, now you go back to your room. He's like, oh, I couldn't possibly sleep now. I still have to explore the rest of the castle. She goes around a little bit of character, all stuff. It's like, what's up there? Oh, you shouldn't go in the West Wing. Oh, so that's the West Wing. The live action remake? Be Our Guest. Black. Wandering the halls. Where am I going? Where's the flow? Where's the character? Now, I'm a very analytical person when it comes to movies, so these bother me. General audiences won't mind. My family likes the live action remake, but I can't support it.
Well, moving on from that rant, we'll go to Mad Dragon.
You can't support the live action movie simply because a good majority of the characters aren't wearing a certain color type for their costume?
It's not that I can't support it because people's colors are different. There are subtle. It's not that the fact that I can't appreciate it because people's colors are different. It's the fact of animation is hard. Is a hard thing to do. I've recently started getting into animation and animating, and I'm discovering just how hard it is to do a simple scene. So the amount of detail animators put into stuff to make these people feel alive. The Beast is a beast, and yet he's a character. You know his backstory, you know his emotions, you feel for him. Why is there, in one scene, whenever Belle asks to see the mirror, and she sees that her father is sick and dying and basically needs help, Beast needs Belle to love him, and he love her in return, so his curse can be lifted. So basically, they're sitting there, he's looking, she's like, it's like, my father, he's in trouble. So you see Beast, he turns away, he looks at the rose, he looks at her, he looks at the rose, closes his eyes, he goes, then you must go to him. I release you. Sacrificing his own well-being for somebody he loves. Live action remake, my father's in danger, you must go to him. All the emotion, gone. Why is a 2D drawing have more emotion than a live person or a fully 3D CGI'd monstrosity?
Think about the time the Beast has spent as being the Beast. This is the first time he has encountered anything that wasn't talking and moving furniture.
Then why would he let her go so easily? You just argue against your own point. He needs Belle to lift his curse so he can be human again, so everyone can be human again, so he can have his life back.
Right, I'm not arguing that. The only thing I'm saying is that the Beast put out a warning, essentially, to everyone around. Do not enter my castle.
That's an odd detail. Sorry not to cut you off. That's an odd detail when you think about it. There's a giant-ass castle, tons of people in it, royalty, town nearby. Don't know who the fuck they are.
The live-action movie, they cleared up that point by making some type of memory wipe spell.
Ah, convenient script writing. Or, as I like to call it, lazy. Now, I'm not going to say that they've done everything terrible. Like, there are things that I do like. That, for example, they fixed one of the issues I have. Belle wants adventure. She wants to go out and see the world. Yet, when she meets Beast, goes to the castle, falls in love with him, she just stays there. In the live-action remake, they introduce a book that can basically make them go anywhere. But then you have the double-edged sword of, when Belle is running back to her father, she takes a horse. Why not take the book that can literally teleport you? See, it's the issue of they try to implement things to fix problems and then forget those things.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then it creates additional problems.
Exactly. It's don't fix what's not broken. I'm not saying you can't have new ideas. I'm saying don't have those new ideas if they ruin the original ones.
How about we
vector off of this?
Vector off into a movie that is my favorite Disney movie of all time.
Okay.
That I have not seen in a long time.
Okay, I was about to thank you for finishing that statement because I've been very
Treasure
awkward.
Planet.
Ah, very good film.
I absolutely adore Treasure Planet. I have not seen it in a while. I own it. I have not seen it in a while.
One of the best kids movie in existence.
I agree.
Very good.
I think now I can understand a lot of people's criticisms about it, like introducing characters super late. Like the story does kind of jump around a little bit in certain places. I understand that criticism. That doesn't change the fact that I absolutely love it.
See, the issue is it was marketed incorrectly.
I wholeheartedly agree.
It's not a normal Disney movie. Nobody sings in that movie. It's not a musical. It's not a plucky. It's the same issue that Atlantis had. Nobody's seen that movie. It's a dramatic adventure. It's a character-driven narrative. Now, you could argue a lot of Disney musicals are character-driven narratives. Yes, but this is a very different kind. There is no... What's what I'm looking for? It's basically the whole point of Treasure Planet is Jim dealing with the trauma of his past and growing up.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
It makes him relatable.
You spend a couple of months out in space. So it's, I find a treasure map. My mother's inn gets burned down. I'm going on a trip to, one, make sure a bad guy that burned my mother's house down doesn't get the treasure. B, I can get the treasure to support my mom. And C, his mother lets him go because she thinks this will be good for him, get him out of the house. Maybe he'll stop being self-destructive. Maybe he'll learn responsibility. Maybe he'll learn...
to grow up.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of, like, there is a lot of, messages that is really good for,
there's a lot of
children.
morals.
A lot of really good morals in that story. It was just so ashamed that it didn't get the spotlight that it really deserved. And the thing is, I understand it was a whole marketing issue. No one went out to see the movies, and I know, like, a lot of those animated movies get a lot of their money from, like, the toys and merchandising and stuff like that. Now, the thing I don't understand is, like, there was plenty of merchandising room for... I can understand Atlantis, but there was plenty of merchandising room for Treasure Planet.
Yeah, there's a video.
You had the robot, you had the slime. I said, I don't remember a lot of the characters' names right now.
Yeah, you had Ben, who was the robot,
and then the gooey slime thingy.
Oh, you had Morph.
You had the cyborg.
Character.
You had the character that rode a freaking wind surfboard.
Jim.
Also, it's a solar surfer. If
Yeah.
you're gonna name something, name it right.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Come over here and say
It's a surfboard that
catches
flies.
solar radiation and hovers.
Flies. Same difference.
Regardless, Treasure Planet is an amazing masterpiece and is super underrated.
Like I said, it's been
Anyone
a-
who
I think-
knows about the movie should be in more support of it. For example, a
This-
live-action adaptation.
Yes, exactly. This is a prime movie for a live-action remake because it's a drama. And with technology we have today, you could very easily make a lot of the scenes you see in that movie in 2D animation in full 3D. Like practical effects, CGI, everything, and it would work very well. It's a space epic.
I mean, that's an argument that we've all been having a long, long time, is the fact that Disney just tends to remake their already successful movies when they need to be making remakes for their less successful movies. Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Black Cauldron.
They're trying to grab you with nostalgia. It's like, hey, it's a live-action remake of Lion King.
But what they fail to understand
Aladdin,
is...
Beauty and the Beast. It's like, oh, we're doing a live-action remake of Black Cauldron. What?
What they fail to understand is a lot of people have nostalgia. Like, maybe people didn't see Treasure Planet when it first came out, but now the amount of people that absolutely love Treasure Planet...
It's found its place on VHS.
Exactly. So, like, the amount of money you can make by remaking Treasure Planet, like, the fact that they haven't done it is ridiculous. And then they remade Mulan, not even anywhere... Okay.
One of the reasons why they keep doing this, it's a nostalgia dollar. Nowadays...
I haven't even seen half the live-action remakes.
I haven't seen the live-action Mulan either.
With social media and with YouTube and all these things about basically, if a movie is bad, people know immediately. Instantly. Like remember After Earth, the Will Smith and Jaden Smith film?
Never saw it.
It had a very strong opening weekend and then dipped dramatically.
Yeah.
So more and more studios are trying to okay, opening weekend. Only thing we care about. Opening weekend. We just gotta sell. We just gotta sell. We gotta push it out. If they can't bank that money, if they're not, it's like, oh, that's why they're doing nostalgia dollars. It's like, we'll get a strong opening weekend. Regardless, we don't care about the next few weeks because it doesn't matter as long as we make that money back. Which is my issue with fucking Disney. They have Star Wars. They have Marvel. They can afford a hit. They could afford to make a good live-action remake of one of their less popular films and have it fail. It's fine. Like when Pixar made the Good Dinosaur, that movie was awful.
I love that movie.
Never saw it.
Movie was awful.
I love that movie.
I'm glad I know that now.
Every
So now I know I
Pixar
didn't waste
movie
my money.
was a smash hit except Good Dinosaur. And they knew it when they finished it. They basically released, we basically went, we're sorry.
Oh, Good Dinosaur.
The Good
okay, I
Dinosaur.
thought you were talking about something else.
No, it was like, we're sorry. That wasn't our best effort. We apologize. Okay. It's a couple of things. One, I'm glad Pixar is well off enough that they can flop.
It's kind of embarrassing that an entire studio has to admit that a project that they've been working on was a failure.
See, but here's the thing. I'm glad that they did.
It's better to admit your faults than to blindly stand by them and say this was a success.
To be fair, a lot of animation
Which is what Disney
studios
does.
do that.
Yeah, they do, because they can't afford not to. I like that Pixar actually failed with that movie, because it shows, oh, they were human after all. It lowers everyone's expectations. Not every single Pixar movie is going to be a smash hit instant classic. It gives them breathing room. Do I think they did it on purpose? Heck no. Nobody intentionally fails that hard. But Disney? Now, it's odd talking about Disney in a context of Disney has had a roller coaster of a career. They have nearly gone into bankruptcy 3 times.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, Disney was very close to shutting down. And
then like stuff like Tangled happened.
Mm,
And we're talking because like you had
It was
the
before
Renaissance. You had the Renaissance, which
yeah,
was
basically,
like
Tangled, basically, a lot of people's opinions kicked off the new Silver Age of animation in Disney.
yeah. So you have like the Renaissance in the 90s, and then it
Which was
dipped
only like
back down
was
again.
only like 4 films when you think about it realistically. You had Lion King, you had Aladdin, you had
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, and one more that everyone talks about. I can't remember what it is. I don't want to say Tarzan because I don't think that one
The
did as
Jungle
well.
Book.
I think
No.
that's old.
That was an old.
It was probably. I think it was Tarzan.
maybe. And then you had stuff like Pocahontas. Which, funny story about that. For those of you who don't know, Disney works on movies at the same time. But there's like, oh, this is the big banker, and this is the other one. Pocahontas was supposed to be the big movie that they were banking on to make a lot of money. Do you know what the secondary film they were working on at the time?
Lion King.
Lion King.
They thought that Lion King was going to fail in
flop.
comparison to Pocahontas.
I've never heard that story before.
That's a true
it's
thing, yeah.
very interesting, and it shows you that executives don't know what the audience wants.
Exactly.
The audience,
Lion King
the
fucking
audience doesn't know what the
banked.
audience wants.
Lion King was one of their biggest movies of all time at
Because
the
it
time.
had good music, fantastic animation, a very simple storyline. It's basically just Macbeth,
Exactly.
but told
And
from
Pocahontas was.
racially charged.
I hated Pocahontas. I hate that movie.
I
To
kind
be
of.
fair,
I think it's
a
fine.
lot of older movies were very
I don't even like-
racially charged.
Yeah.
You ever seen Peter Pan?
You ever seen
What
Dumbo?
makes the red man red? Oh,
I actually hated
You ever
Pocahontas.
seen
The music.
Dumbo, the Three Crows? Hey man, look at this little pig over here.
Song of the South. Disney. No, forget it. Disney destroys our podcast. They can't bring up the past.
Yes, Mr. Disney.
Kill the past. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Yes, Mr. Disney.
You're gonna give me a whole $100 for all my songs? Where do I sign, Mr. Jerry Gordy? No, Disney's not flawless. But when you take something that was a classic and you remake it, but it's a heartless remake. Let's talk about a remake that I think was done really well. Maleficent.
Yep.
Because it's a different story. It follows the villain. But it's the same story. It basically tells you... I heard this was an interesting take from another YouTuber that I watch. Basically, she pointed out that if you look at the original animated Sleeping Beauty and then watch Maleficent, they look like propaganda films from 2 countries warring with one another. In the 2D animated one, Maleficent is this evil, cackling witch who's cursed and like all these things. And then in the live-action remake, the king is a bastard.
Oh, yeah.
It's this interesting duality. Now, the thing that I like about Maleficent is she's still pretty much a bitch. If you look at the subtext to potentially raise some flags here for people. No offense, but if you look at the movie, it's basically the story of a rape survivor. Like, think about it.
That cuts pretty deep.
It does. They took a risk with that story, and they stood by it. That is a good film. And I wish live-action Disney remakes did that. I wish they leaned more in Aladdin. I wish they leaned more into the angle of Jafar and Aladdin's duality. We are the same, but whereas Jafar's thievery is for his own benefit and his own greed, Aladdin steals to gotta eat to live, gotta see to eat, tell you all about it when I got the time.
Yeah,
he
it's all in the song.
literally steals because he has to. Is like, gotta eat to live, gotta see to eat, otherwise we'd get along. Like, that's the whole point of One Jump, is to tell you, I'm not a thief to be a thief. I do it because I need to.
He also needs to feed Abu. He can't just do that.
Abu.
Abu can feed himself. He a monkey.
Abu don't really need much.
But it's like, if you lean more to that angle, like, focus on that. Because, like, and you think about, like, when a Jafar song, I can't remember. It's been a while since I did the live one, and I kind of only watched it once, and I was kind of upset with it, so I don't really remember it really well. When he sings the reprise to Prince Ali, and basically dressing down Aladdin, turns out Ali is nothing but Aladdin. It's basically like, oh, you pretended to be a prince? Well, you're nothing but a straight rat, and I have all the power, because I have the genie. And then Aladdin doesn't give up. He comes back. He fights the most powerful person because his people he cares about are in danger. His friends are in danger. He befriends the genie. The only reason he doesn't let Genie go at the end in the midpoint of that movie is because he's scared. Because it's the first time in his life he has something to lose.
So,
Something that he didn't have to steal.
Exactly.
Something that he earned.
And he feels bad. You can tell into the animated movie. He feels bad for lying to Jasmine. He lies because he thinks he needs to. Live action movie. I will say that the scene when he's strapped to that chair and is kicked off the cliff. That is
brutal.
Intense.
That was a brutal scene.
Never fails. Get in the tub and suddenly there's Robert the Lamp. Hello.
Wait, I think it's not a very good segue, but I did want.
Okay.
I did want to move on to a specific, like, in the idea of Disney and making great single films,
Okay.
and then shitty ass sequels.
Oh,
I want to talk about something I want to talk about something specific because both these movies had theater releases. Neither one of them was direct to DVD.
It's a direct to DVD fodder.
I'm talking about Wreck-It Ralph versus Ralph Breaks the Internet. Now,
okay. I have not seen that movie.
They're both pretty good.
I saw the original.
it's
I saw the original.
He's
Didn't see the
lying.
sequel.
He's lying.
He's lying.
He's lying. Okay, Wreck-It Ralph was an amazing movie.
Yes.
I love the movie.
Mhm.
I love the characters in the movie and the progression of Ralph discovering who he is and like what he's capable of
It's okay.
as a person.
Just because you are a bad guy does not mean you are a bad guy.
Exactly.
Thanks, Satan.
And
It's actually pronounced Satan.
And in Ralph Breaks the Internet, you just don't get anything. It's just like it's not even a flat character arc. It's just like non-existent. Like, yeah, they're friends, but it just seems like it's such a drastic change in what the first story was telling. Like, I get it. Like, they plug in the internet router and they go into the internet and they're discovering all this stuff in the internet. But
So you're saying it feels like direct-to-DVD fodder, where it's not.
Yeah.
There's no growth. There's no
growth.
It's just an adventure to make money.
There's no growth. It seems like they're just trying, because, like, I don't know, another money-grabbing scene right here. That just made me just feel like this was just a moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it was the scene with Vanellope with the Disney princesses.
Oh yeah.
Now, I understand. I did actually like that scene. I liked that scene. I
didn't
enjoyed
like
it.
the scene.
The Disney pajama princess lines.
Yeah.
That was all merchandising.
No,
Did you know up to the release of that movie, Disney was doing like daily tweets about things you can do with the internet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I know you know why, because
scene
that one
didn't
video we
contain all
both
of the
watched.
Disney
Yeah.
princesses.
But
Where was Cusco?
Exactly.
Boom, baby.
No, but the problem is,
Are you guys
like,
okay? Do I need to call the police?
it was a pure money grabbing scene. It was just trying to, it's like, oh, look at all these other characters
As
in
a
this movie.
YouTube video, I think that scene is fantastic. In the context of the movie, I don't know. I'll have to watch it.
Watch the movie. You will understand what I'm saying. I can't exactly describe why it just feels so out of place. I feel like it could have been a good movie. I just feel like it wasn't Wreck-It Ralph. I feel like if it was any other franchise, if it was its own original project.
Okay, interesting that compare it to this. You had Tarzan, and then you had Tarzan 2, which is basically just 3 mini adventures that were basically a pilot to a TV series. So basically what the movie felt like, they were trying to set up a franchise of some
No, it didn't
kind.
even feel like that.
It didn't even feel like that? Oh,
No, it was just so weird. It just didn't feel like Wreck-It Ralph. It did not.
Turned into a drama queen. That's all it was.
Do
he
you
became too overprotective of Penelope, not wanting her to grow up, even though she is ones and zeros in a computer program.
I don't have
She can't grow
souls.
up. But that same
He didn't want her to
situation
leave.
happens with Ralph. He doesn't grow up either. He's stuck in that premature stage where
Here's
he's
the thing.
a friend, and that's all he's going to be. Is
Here's the thing.
Penelope's friend.
They reset Ralph's character.
Okay.
He already went through progression in the first movie.
I'm going to ask a question, because like I said, I've never seen this movie, so I don't know. Could it be they were trying to do something similar with Aladdin, where it was he finally has something to lose and he's unwilling to give it up?
Yeah.
In a sense, yes.
But did they do anything with that?
No.
Okay.
Because spoilers for anybody out there and for you yourself?
For these movies that have come out years ago.
Yeah. Basically speaking, Vanellope gets bored. Vanellope gets bored of the same routine.
I worked so hard to be a character in this game. Now that I am one, I'm bored.
Exactly. That's one of my big problems.
Well,
with
Vanellope is a child.
But Vanellope gets bored of racing the same tracks every day, having the same routine every day.
Okay.
Understandable.
You ain't going turbo, are you?
Somewhat. So basically, when they get into the internet, they find this new game, like Death Race or something like that. Yeah. And,
right.
Vanellope, falls in love. Oh, my God, look at all these people, dying and all the explosions and, the race cars and everything.
When did video games become so violent and scary?
And so she wants to stay there.
It's pretty much.
But
taking
Ralph
a turn
doesn't
from
want.
Candyland to Mad Max Fury.
But it's dangerous. Okay. It is very dangerous. Which one of the things is Ralph is like, you shouldn't be here. It's dangerous. If you die here, you stay dead. And then he's like, no, I when you race here, and when you have fun, I'm like,
this reminds me of that one line in the Disney Princess room. It's like, does everyone assume that all your problems got solved because a man appeared?
Oh my God. I don't even want to talk about that.
I'm going to bring up one thing.
That's...
Moana, fair point. Maui, the point was Moana to get Maui to get off his ass. Rapunzel and Flynn.
Semantics.
Everyone else in that room, that's basically what happened. Except maybe Jasmine. I don't know. You could an argument could be made.
Yeah.
Cinderella, you had magic.
It was just
Snow White. The Seven Dwarves definitely saved your ass.
So basically, the way the movie ends is Ralph creates a virus.
Even though he did that in the first movie by accident.
Yeah. He creates a virus to try to take down Death Race.
So he's going to commit genocide.
Yeah, pretty much.
In the whole.
And then the virus breaks out of Death Race and infects the entire internet.
So it's basically the problem the original movie had, but under new circumstances.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
There are points in the movie that I enjoy. The overall movie, I do not like.
Interesting.
It just didn't feel like these were the characters.
Well, then I shall continue not to have seen the movie.
No, we'll watch it for the channel.
All right, maybe we'll watch it for the channel. I don't know. Reactions. I don't know. This funny thing about talking about Disney is the movie you hate the most could be the movie somebody loves. Is it nearest and dearest to their hearts?
Well, I love the original Wreck-It Ralph. I love the
it's
first
it's
movie.
good. I like Wreck-It Ralph. It's a good movie. It's fantastic.
You know, I think we've been talking too much about our favorite Disney movies and favorite scenes from different movies.
I think my whole rant at the beginning about how much I hate the live-action Beauty and the Beast remake would beg to differ.
I think my whole rant about me hating
Wreck-It Ralph would beg to differ.
This is like a lot because like
It's hard.
I absolutely love Disney.
Love Disney.
Me too.
It is one of my favorite movie companies.
Dragon is fidgeting in his section of the couch trying to get comfortable.
I love
Don't mock me.
Disney.
I'm not mocking you. I'm letting the audience know so they can mock you.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh, that's fine. It's fine if it's bullying on the internet.
like I don't like the live action remakes, half of them. Like I haven't even seen half of them. I haven't seen the Aladdin live action remake. I've seen parts. I've seen bits and pieces. I have not seen the movie. I have not seen the Lion King.
You know, it was a
live-action
very
remake.
good live action remake. Legend of Tarzan.
I actually thoroughly
That
enjoyed the
movie's
Legend of
really
Tarzan.
good. It has nothing to do with Disney's Tarzan, but it's a very good movie.
It is a very good movie. I actually really enjoyed that
It
movie.
was fantastic. Really great. I thought it was going to be terrible. It looked like it was
yeah,
going to be bad.
yeah.
It was actually really good.
Now all we have to do is watch Dora the Explorer.
Oh, okay. Sidebar. Not talking about Disney at all. Okay. The internet remembers the Sonic live-action movie with Jim Carrey. Of course you do. It was everywhere. Memes all over the place. That movie is not bad.
That movie is actually pretty good.
It's not great.
It's
not
like
terrible.
It's like a 6.5 out of 10.
It's a good enough.
Is it worth
Film.
the watch?
It is
Yes,
100%
it is very
worth
much
the
worth the
watch.
watch. If you haven't seen it yet, you definitely should.
It is 100% worth the watch.
We have it on
Blu-ray.
we have it on Blu-ray if you want to watch it while you're here.
That would be very fun.
Fantastic.
Trust me, you will like it.
Fantastic.
I loved it.
Looking at the trailers of that movie, it looks like it's going to be hot garbage. It wasn't, therefore I have to give movies chances now.
It doesn't
So
matter.
the Dora the Explorer movie, the trailers look awful. I have to give it a shot now. I miss the times when I could look at movies and their trailers and go, that looks like terrible, and not have to watch it. Which is funny, vectoring back into Disney. Inside Out had very terrible trailers.
Yeah,
the
Inside Out-
marketing of that movie was awful.
And Inside Out is my second favorite Disney movie. Pixar movie of all. No, it is my favorite Pixar movie of
Second
all
favorite
time.
Disney movie.
Second favorite Disney movie.
Interesting.
My favorite Pixar movie of all time. I have seen Inside Out. I shit you not. I have seen Inside Out 37 times.
Only
Wow,
37
you kept count.
in a row.
Because I used to have it downloaded on my laptop, so I would watch it while I was at school.
I go back and forth whether Ratatouille
Oh,
or
I
the
love Ratatouille.
or The Incredibles is my favorite.
Oh,
Pixar
I love
movie.
The Incredibles.
Funny thing
You
is
know
that the Incredibles, the sequel, I consider them two halves of the same film.
They really are.
Because it does something that a lot of the sequels don't. It's a continuation.
It takes
of the
place
story
directly.
It's like a week after.
Yeah. Well, the first opening scene
Okay,
of
okay.
two.
The ending, the ending credits of the
After
first.
making fans wait for 10 years.
Yes, but they kept the voice actor, so everything's okay.
Yeah, understandable. No, you want to get into a movie that I
'Cause
absolutely.
that's a family drama disguised as a superhero movie.
You want to get into a movie series. You want to get into a movie series that I absolutely adore.
Okay.
That a lot of people seem to absolutely despise.
All right.
Cars. I love
Second one was
Cars.
awful.
I love Cars
liked
too.
the
Cars is a
first
great
movie.
I like Cars too. I like
Why?
Tomato. I like Mater, and I like the whole. One of my favorite things.
Mater is fine.
Not in the second movie.
I haven't seen the second movie.
Here's the thing.
I've only seen the first Cars movie.
Here's the thing. In the second movie, it's the whole spy thing.
It's a spy adventure
But-
drama. It's like, oh yes,
like-
egotistical asshole has to learn to human. Next movie, obvious continuation line: action adventure spy film about an oil conspiracy.
I love it because
Makes sense.
one of my favorite things in the movie is that throughout the whole movie, this super spy legitimately believes that Mater is just such a good spy that he doesn't reveal his identity to them and just pretends to be an idiot.
Well, people
But
see
he
what
actually
they want to
is.
see.
Which is great. I love it, and I find it hilarious
I feel
through the
like,
whole movie.
Okay, this is an argument I've heard before, and I don't know how true it is because, like I said, I've never seen the movies. Cars was aimed at a fun for all the family aspect. Cars 2 was aimed specifically at children. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
And then Planes came out and just
Planes is
completely
garbage.
Oh, one of those spin-off
everybody's
films.
Planes was garbage. Don't watch it.
perspective.
And you thought that Marvel had the most ambitious crossover of all time.
I was confused.
I was like, what is this movie? How do boats not drown in this universe?
I was actually confused.
Never seen planes. You know what I have seen though?
I have seen planes.
Mater's Tall Tales.
I love Mater's
Those are
Tall
fun.
Tales.
Those
They
are
are
really
all
fun.
great. Every single one of them. I used to have the collection of all of like the
Really?
Disney. I used to have a collection of it was like the Disney short animations, all the Disney short animations, and it came with Mater's Tall Tales.
Pixar's not Pixar's. I think I know what you're talking about. Basically, it's a movie. It's a feature-length compilation
Of all of their
over the years.
Yeah, all of their.
I like that.
their
I actually
little-
really enjoyed that movie.
That thing is so fun, and the one that I got
It's
is the
very
one that
interesting.
includes all of Mater's Tall Tales,
Mm.
which is great, and I love all of them.
I don't like the sequel as much. Because yes, they made a sequel to that.
I didn't realize that.
You know how many Frozen animated shorts there are?
I don't want to know.
Many.
I don't care to know.
Many.
I love Frozen. I do. I thoroughly enjoy Frozen. I liked Frozen 2.
I like Frozen too.
I didn't think it was good as the first film.
No,
Never saw Frozen 2. Never saw.
it's all right.
It is a decent 6.5 out of 10.
It is an odd choice for a sequel to the first movie.
Not at all what I expected. Not at all what you will expect.
No. My least favorite aspect of the movie, Panic at the Disco singing the song at the end of the movie. I know they wrote it,
Yeah.
but I don't like how they performed it.
His version is inferior.
Now,
Which is a hot take.
which is a hot take for
considering-
my brother and my sister who love Panic at the Disco
Yeah.
and will probably murder me when they hear when they hear this podcast. But it's like I'm okay with sometimes get like the flagship like the bop from the movies, like the main big hitter song, like has like a pop or remake or something like that that's re-sung by somebody else, either the original artist who wrote it or just a famous person or
However,
band at
9
the
times
time.
out of 10 it's just not as good.
I will say the only one that I remember actually liking both versions of is actually, honestly enough, Moana's
How far I'll go.
Mount Fargo. I like both versions.
Like Let It Go
Of
from
course, then you
Frozen
have,
with Demi Lovato.
with Zootopia, Try Everything. Shakira sang that.
Shakira
so
sang, yeah.
there is no rendition. It's just her
It's
version.
Shakira, which is amazing. That is one of my favorite Disney songs. I love it.
Another great example of celebrities intervening in political situations that they have no business intervening in.
Gazelle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't talking about politics.
We're not. We're gonna stay out of that. We're gonna stay out of politics.
I just think it's funny.
Another really good modern Disney movie that kind of ties into other parts of what Disney owns, but is still technically a Disney movie, would be Big Hero 6. Now,
It's
I know
very much a Disney movie.
it's Disney, but it's also owned by Marvel.
Yes, because it's based off of a comic book Stanley wrote.
Exactly. That's the reason why I'm saying like
Which
it's
is why
Marvel,
it's a Stan Lee cameo at the end of that movie.
it's Marvel, but it's more Disney than Marvel.
Yeah.
The movie itself.
I like the movie.
Now,
Fall Out Boy, the song.
I've unfortunately only seen Big Hero 6 once, and
It was a while ago?
Not a while ago. I was watching it with my little cousin. She's 4 years old. Every time something happened, she would try to talk to me.
your
and
disappointment to human society.
I mean, that much is obvious. I've already accepted my humanity
I think I
and
have it
become
on
a
Blu-ray,
dragon,
actually.
so
It's
I
right
can
there.
make it much
That's what
longer
made me
than
think
that.
about it.
I see. Oh, okay. It's a good movie. It's all right. It's a very
Weird.
no. It's not that it's weird. It's it has one of the more brutal death scenes.
It has a very
in
brutal death
Disney
scene.
movies.
Spoiler alert for anybody that doesn't
Disney
know.
straight up murders people
Like
in their
that
movies.
dude blew up.
Tadashi, yeah, Tadashi Day.
Like he got like he ran into a fire and then the building blew up.
And he was basically Hiro's older brother Tadashi. They were at their science exposition,
Expo.
expo.
Right.
The
they were showing
building-
off their fancy gadgets
The
and
building
whatnot.
caught fire. Tadashi realized that the guy who runs the school was still in there, so he went back in to try and save him, and the fire basically caused something to explode, and Tadashi died.
Like there was nothing.
There was like he gone. It is a tragedy, and it is treated as such, which I appreciate.
Yeah, like
Like that's a big point in the movie is basically Hiro trying to cope with his brother's death.
and he takes it
Hard.
like he almost murders somebody
Straight up.
straight up.
Well, he doesn't. He attempts to facilitate the murder of
Yeah.
somebody.
it was a
It's a really emotionally intense film.
it's one of those movies that
It's
really
one of the movies that I really like. The lesson is, yes, people die. Yes, it's tragic, but their death isn't necessarily the end. Like, what they mean to you doesn't have to die with them. They're still with you.
A person's ideals doesn't die with them.
Exactly.
They live on in the people that they influenced.
Mhm.
Perfect example of that. A little off topic, but
Alright.
I think it makes sense.
Okay.
Kamina from Gurren Lagann, when he died, was a very emotional point in the story.
Everyone's spurred on by his death.
But
Something
it
that you
gave Simone something to latch onto.
it basically
and
forced Simone into
grow
the role of protagonist.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's very interesting.
That same feeling.
Something that's supposed to demoralize ends up galvanizing.
Yeah. I think, like
Of course, that's not what happened with Tadashi's death, but
I think moving back to Disney.
even okay.
This is not about that. I just want to
I
move
mean,
back
we
to
can
Disney.
keep talking about anime.
No.
Well, we tried to record an entire podcast about anime, and we lost it.
It went kaput.
We lost it.
It went kaput.
We'll probably go back to it at some point, but
Let's go into how about y'all? Let's go into this. Let's go into this subject. I'm gonna hear from y'all, see what y'all say about this specific subject. A movie that you a Disney movie specifically,
okay.
that you hated as a child but love as an adult.
None of them.
A Little
None of them?
Mermaid.
Huh? A Little Mermaid?
The Little Mermaid.
Interesting.
As a kid, I grew up thinking, oh my gosh, mermaids, that's so girly. I don't want to see that on my TV screen. It's gross. You got seashells on your chesties. You can't do that.
Chesties.
I was a very traumatized child.
Okay. All right.
But as I grew up,
Chesties.
I rewatched it and I was just like, huh, that's actually really wholesome.
All right.
A movie?
I liked it. A movie about not killing fish and
Killing fish. Yes, we show children this. That song is horrific.
Disney. There's a
Seriously.
few Disney movies that I actually hated as a child and loved as an adult. Brother Bear. I hated Brother Bear.
Why?
I did not like it. I found it incredibly boring as a
Tell
child.
everybody I'm on my way. Phil Collins gets a very bad rep by a lot of people who don't like his music, because basically the argument people have against Phil Collins is he's singing what you're supposed to be feeling and instead of just letting the music evoke the emotion. But like,
Let the music evoke your emotion.
I still like his music. Is it the best? No, but I still enjoy it. Like, Tarzan, in my opinion, has a really good soundtrack. So does Brother Bear. It's not his fault. He's not a bad musician or anything.
Right. Tarzan has. I'm gonna piggyback off what you were saying. Tarzan has a masterpiece of a soundtrack.
Oh, I hate
I don't
Tarzan.
necessarily want to say that. But...
Why?
I hate Tarzan. That's another hot take. I hate Tarzan. I don't like any of the music. I don't like the movie at all.
Do you like the music in Brother Bear?
No, I like the music in Brother Bear.
Okay, so it's not Phil Collins you like it. You dislike it. It's just you didn't like
Brother Bear.
Tarzan's music.
Yeah, I don't like Tarzan's music.
All right.
And I don't like Tarzan.
All right.
I hate that movie. I still to this day do not like Tarzan.
Happy he wasn't in any Kingdom Hearts besides the first one.
Oh my god, I fucking hated that.
But don't worry, Atlantica's in no.
I actually like Atlantica in the second game, so
I don't. It's not just.
I like the mini games.
We're not talking about Kingdom Hearts here, but like.
You know what? I actually did this thing. It was like this little Facebook thing a little while ago. It was like a list of like 100 Disney movies, and me and my
to see if you'd seen them all.
yeah, me and my mother are both
Rabid Disney fans.
rabid Disney fans, but my mother says she's a better Disney fan or
a better
more
Disney
of a
fan.
Disney fan than I am.
I see.
I had seen all 100 movies, and there was 2 on that list that she had not seen. And I was insulted when I heard what those 2 Disney movies
What
are.
were they?
WALL-E?
Oh,
And,
No.
well, I can understand Brave. But WALL-E?
I like Brave.
I love Brave. But, like, I can understand not having seen it. But WALL-E?
Come on.
WALL-E! And I was like, there's no fucking way. You're lying to me. You definitely, there's no way you haven't seen
Part
WALL-E.
of me kinds of wish WALL-E didn't have dialogue. Because, like, the beginning, like, before Eve shows up, Wally really doesn't have any dialogue. It's like, whoa! It's like, it's interesting watching a character unable to talk convey emotions, and as an audience member, you understand it. That's
it's
interesting.
Humans can, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to just say insert, just for now, because I can't remember what the actual word I'm looking for is. But humans can insert emotions onto things, like unreal things, like Roombas. Humans see those as, like, humans can, like, perceive those as living things. It's just a natural...
I know the word you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Influence.
No,
it's a specific word.
Project.
Yeah, we can say project emotions onto things that don't actually have emotions, or
like, you know, a lot of people, like, you know, like, do you love or hate your car?
Exactly.
And, like, you give it, it's like, oh, it's out to get me, or, oh, it's always got my back. It's like, it's a car.
Yeah, my car is my baby. I have a name for it. I'm not saying it here.
I also have a name for my car. I think everybody should name their car.
My car was named for me.
Old Blue.
No, that's not its name. That's the nickname it has now. But I am the third child to drive this vehicle. It was named before I had a chance to touch a vehicle. Anyway, back to what you were saying earlier about movies that we hated growing up and then like now as an adult. My opinions on Disney movies don't really change. They just become more fleshed out. Movies that I hated, I still hate. Disney movies that I like, I still like. Now, I've had movies that I liked move to love because of my critical thinking and understanding of the movie, but there's really none that I like, oh, I hate this and now I love it.
Yeah, I can understand.
I don't really have any.
Now, like, I can, like, when it comes to, like, Inside Out.
No, there are movies that I'd be like, oh, I love this movie. This is a great movie. And then I grow up, I was like, this movie's terrible. But I love it anyway.
Yeah.
I've had that.
Yeah. It's like video games, like with Kingdom Hearts.
I still enjoy playing Kingdom Hearts 1.
Doesn't change the fact that it's garbage.
Mechanically, it's
garbage.
It's a product of its time. It's a PlayStation 2 game, and it plays as such.
Yeah. I think I didn't really get to talk about Inside Out earlier whenever I was saying, like, I absolutely adore Inside Out. I love the characters. I love the aspect of you don't just see what's going on inside her head. You see what's going on in her life and how what the characters are doing is affecting Riley. And I love it.
The concept's a little weird, and the only issue I kind of have, I understand why they did this, narratively speaking, but from a functionality standpoint, why do human beings only have one positive emotion and the other 4 are negatives?
They're human beings.
There is only one positive
and
emotion.
also, do you notice something kind of dark? So Riley's lead emotion is happiness.
Her dad's
is anger, and her mother's is sadness.
Yeah.
But also, you notice that the mom's sadness doesn't
act sad. Yeah.
Which is odd.
Because it's mature. The way I look at it,
which is like your emotions have emotions, like when Joy cries.
I look at it the theory of maturity.
Are we us, or are we our emotions? Are we just giant Gundams?
Are our emotions for our emotions?
Look inside Joy's head. See what little toys are messing around with her.
I'm going like 4 levels deep, Leo.
Girl. That joke was fantastic. My favorite joke, end scene credit joke, though, is like, well, that was hilarious. The cats. Is that why cats just randomly go batshit?
Just butt.
Ball.
Ball.
The movie is so good.
The movie is fantastic.
You know what was a weird movie? Fantasia.
You know what?
It
That
was weird in a
that
good
movie
way.
gives me such acid feelings. Like
Such acid feelings? Acid reflux?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding, dude.
But in my brain.
There was 2 Disney movies that gave me nightmares as kids, and that was Fantasia and Alice in Wonderland.
Interesting.
Classic music, acid track.
No, I legitimately had nightmares. I kid you not about the brooms.
Oh, the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, about the brooms like moving around and shit. Like they would like beat me and shit. Like I don't know what it
Interesting.
was. Like something about that movie.
It was interesting. If I recall correctly, it could be horribly wrong. Side note on my own side note. Remember when Penn and Teller were in it?
Who?
Penn and Teller. If you don't know who they are, then I'm gonna give them back. I think this was around the time, right around World War I or II, where they lost a lot of their best animators, not to the battlefield, but to propaganda films. They were hired basically to create propaganda films, which is why you get stuff like Donald's Nightmare of Being in Nazi Germany, or war effort, stuff like that. Interesting things. So they basically compiled a lot of half-finished animations into movies to kind of like release something to keep money going. And I think Fantasia was kind of a result of that.
Oh, okay.
It's like, we don't have enough crew to make a full cartoon or feature, so let's just take some classic music and animate it.
Actually, I don't think I've seen the original what I'm remembering is Fantasia 2000. That's what I'm remembering.
Okay.
Both fantastic films.
I was going to move into a different tangent, something that's a bit more...
It wasn't really a tangent. I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about Fantasia.
I want to talk about something that was, if you don't mind me factoring off into something else here. Something that, you know, somehow provides a lot of emotion, sad emotions, happy emotions, provides a lot of character and a lot of character development over the course of the movie. And that would be a Goofy movie. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. From a title like that, you would not expect...
Those made-for-TV Disney movies.
I am not kidding you. That is one of the few movies that ever made me cry. Disney movies that ever made me cry. Because, like, whenever Max is talking... Like, as a child, you're like, you just let Max do what he wants.
Come on, Goofy, just let Max go to the concert. It means so much to him.
But
watching it as an adult, come on, Max, just go on the camping trip with your father. It means so much to him.
Exactly, like... When Max,
it's your understanding of the movies as you get older, which is one of the great things about Disney is you get new perspectives on their movies as you get older.
Exactly. Like whenever Max says like I'm ready to live my own life, and it's like his dad's just like, I just wanted to be a part of it.
I have my own life now. I know that. I just wanted to be part of it.
It was like just tears down the face, man. Like, because of like it makes me think about like me and my dad. We know we have a good relationship, so it's that gives me a lot.
One of my favorite
deep emotions.
One of my favorite things to do is go back and watch Disney movies I haven't seen in a long time, and notice all the adult jokes in them. Have you seen Toy Story recently? There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
All right, Mr. Lightbeer.
Okay,
prove it.
Okay, Mrs. Hooker.
Yes, you know the fishing line with the legs.
She's a hooker.
That's a hooker. It's a visual gag.
It's a hooker.
I have to rewatch Toy Story now.
Okay, you know in Sid's room he has all these
messed up toys
that he's messed with.
Yeah.
One of them is basically Barbie doll legs on a fishing pole and lure.
It's a hooker.
It's a hooker. That's the visual
joke. It's got a hook and it's got the Barbie doll legs.
I can't get that image.
There's so many. Not nearly as bad as in DreamWorks. Jeez Louise.
I was legitimately not allowed to watch Shrek as a kid because of all the dirty jokes.
So many.
Clean your face, wash your... or clean your hands, wash your face.
Yeah, it's like, Disney gave us memories. DreamWorks gave us memes.
With a few exceptions, like Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon.
Well, the thing is,
but we're not
like,
going into
DreamWorks. Well, actually, it's interesting to talk about DreamWorks when we talk about Disney. Is DreamWorks basically started off making films to make fun of Disney? It's like, no, we're gonna make actually quality animations and not bank on silly things like stealing other people's story ideas or having famous actors in them just for the sake of it. And then Shrek came out, and it was bigger than anyone could have anticipated. And they basically lived long enough to become the enemy. And honestly, a lot of people consider them worse than the company that they were making fun of.
I think it's actually funny because Shrek actually got put into the into the Library of Congress as an important historical film. The original Shrek is now labeled as an important historical film.
God bless America.
Yeah. alongside like some other like really, you know, message driven movies. Like I just think it's funny that Shrek is on there. Cuz like it's big. Like that's the thing about it. Like it's big. Everyone knows what Shrek is. Everybody knows what Shrek is.
Yes, but you ask a lot of the people who made Shrek, a lot of people won't realize that it was DreamWorks. And a lot of the other movies that they made, like Prince of Egypt, is a fantastic movie. It's like, in my opinion, one of the greatest animated films that I've ever seen. Madagascar.
Yeah, Madagascar. I don't really have a big opinion on that. I haven't seen it in a long ass time.
Like I said, we're not talking about DreamWorks here. We're talking about Disney, but I thought it was interesting to bring up that point.
Yeah.
Disney, just like ups and downs. Disney's had a lot over the years. Their live action stuff. There's like, they had like so many channels growing up. Like you had Disney Channel, then you have Disney Junior now, and you have Disney, Toon Disney, Disney XD, and all these different channels they have on cable, which we no longer have cable because we're Centennials, or at least Kodig and I am. Dragons is actually a millennial. He's the last generation of millennials. Your last generation of a generation. He's like right at the cutoff point.
Yeah.
Same with Ryan.
So I get the free pass.
I get all this shit in my generation, but I ain't responsible for none of it.
But anyways, we've been recording for quite a while now.
Yeah, right.
But that's gonna do us. That's gonna do us for today, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you'll know when we upload new videos, and leave a comment saying, you know, what you want us to talk about next. You know, we always looking for new subjects. Rar. I have been Kodig.
I have been Aaron.
And I'm the Mad Dragon.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Rar.
Anyone remember Home on the Range?
I'm glad to you.